So, how do you find palm reading?
Palm reading? I don't know. It's palm reading. It's palm reading.
No, I mean, what's your understanding of that? Palm reading. Tea bag reading. No, is it tea bag? No, it's probably not. Tea leaves.
Tea leaves or coffee. Yeah. I don't know. It's just reading from something.
Tarot reading.
Yeah.
Spiritual reading.
I don't know.
Reality reading.
Reality. What is that?
See, it's funny, but it is also true.
Okay.
So we kind of keep focused on these things. What about face reading?
It's like palm reading, isn't it?
Ah, but there's many ways to read a face, right? It's like these little twitches and...
Yeah.
If I look this way, I'm full of shit. If I look this way, I'm also full of shit. If I look this way, I'm recalling. If I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Anyway, you know, it's like a week. Anyway, so that's a type of reading, isn't it? What about face reading? Well, it's got to be room, hasn't there?
No. It's the same like palm reading, isn't it? You can read from the whole body sometimes.
Exactly, but why do we always focus on the palms? How come it's never progressed into a new category? You see, the only reason why I ask this is because fundamentally on my forehead here, the more I've been looking at that, the more I've been seeing some things, yeah? And maybe I'll turn into a narcissus. I'll turn into a little daffodil because I looked into the lake and thought, oh, look how beautiful I am. And then the goddess came down and transformed me into a daffodil. Narcissus. So when someone calls you a narcissist, what they're really saying is, you look beautiful in a vase on my kitchen table during Easter and Mother's Day. But still,
all year round.
All year round. Ah, smell those daffodils. Oh, there was one year that we got some daffodils and they did not smell too good.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, oh man. Yeah, that was not great. But the rest, the wild ones? Ah, what are you doing? Just getting high on life? Ah, can't wait all pollen over the nose. Anyway, still. So we'll say plant reading then. Animal reading?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Animal reading? How do you read animals?
Oh, dentist reads teeth, don't they? Oh, look here. We're going to have a little filling on its way. Come on. This is going to turn into a pothole.
But that is after. After they got bad.
Can you imagine that? Uh-huh. Oh, how are you? Fucking hell, eh? When I had nothing in my mouth, you didn't want to talk to me. Now I've got every single one of your instruments in my mouth and fingers, and you want to ask me, how am I? Does silence mean yes? Bite your finger means no. I'm doing pretty well. Oh, yes, and you know. And then the dentist sits over you with the gloves on, right? Going, I now predict that tooth upper left LR and the canine. Sorry, is it canine?
Yeah.
It is called a canine, yeah? Yeah, I call them fangs. They kind of laugh at me and I don't know why. I think there's something wrong with one of my fangs. You know, it's like, what? One of my fangs is a little bit strange. Along with the rest of me, it fits quite nicely, but in teeth it doesn't fit. And there's something wrong with my fangs. She was like, you mean your canine? Yeah, all that. Self-proclaimed vampire walks in. Oh dear. Could you pull this one? Why is that? Because I just love the taste of blood. Anyway, could you imagine them just sitting there predicting, I predict that there is going to be a cavity open up in the tooth of the bag. All right. What's it going to do for me to stop that? How much you got? Oh, hey, to do this reading on your teeth, it ain't free, you know. It's probably cheaper to go and see a medium. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, so this reading teeth, reading posture, reading body language. But yeah, the more I've been paying attention to my forehead, I have a cross. Looks a bit like this one here. Don't worry about the rest of the shit. Looks like this, yeah?
Yeah.
I have a compass or a star. what appears to be a weird sort of R
Yeah.
and a very strange sort of Y. Which you could say Tory, or you could say Troy.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You know, I'm going to go into some place and they're going to read my face. Who are you? I'm a face reader. Oh, you mean like body language and tell whether I'm full of shit or not? No, I read wrinkles. I'm sensing that you came from the time of Troy. You are a Tory by nature, meaning what? What is that? Ah, not like the Tory party. No, no, no. It's more about a cattle thief. Okay, so a bit like the Tories. You know, plunderer and doing this and taking from the people that have settled. Woo! But they probably won't close their eyes, probably be examining. So, you have some markings on your forehead.
Yeah.
So I could give you a reading if you want.
Okay.
I could find out what type of person you are based on the way the creases.
Wrinkled.
Don't even... Look. And then someone will be like, okay, if you're truly reading this stuff, here's a Sharpay. There's too many wrinkles. But no, do you often think that, well, if the palms are significant and that's acceptable, then should the face and wrinkles on the face be acceptable as well?
Yeah.
And then there are some nights when I go to I think it's called angioedema, I can't be sure, where my face begins to swell completely out.
Yeah.
Like the top part of it, my eyebrows,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in this bit, it really becomes quite protruded. I look in there and I look like some sort of Octorian. Like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Mega Norman. Is it called a Norman? Not sure.
Norman?
Yeah. Might as well. Is that what they used to be called?
Who?
Certain cultures? Romans?
I don't know.
Normans? No?
Normans, yeah, they were from France, yeah.
Like with the massive...
From Normandy, yeah. I don't know if they were those. You mean Neanderthals? No.
A Neanderthal? Yeah, go for that
That
as
would
well.
be too much.
But even still, you know,
Yeah.
that's still a reading, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you were to read that on the face, then there is a whole lineage attached to that and the type of lifestyle and transitions that you've came in. And I can probably predict that you are going to be like this with a little bit of that, dribbled in with a little bit of this, mixed in with a tiny bit of Roman. Percentage of Viking? Oh, most definitely. So therefore you have this to you as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To read the face more than meets the eye. But if look, we're just trying to read psychology at the moment, or we're trying to read this, or we're trying to read body language, or we're trying... Where does it stop?
Yeah. Where does it stop?
Yeah, you want to read my feet next. So, do you think that there are markings etched on us?
Yeah, I do.
Or if there are markings etched in on your palms? Like some people are like, if you have loads of stars on there, I got tons of compasses on my stars. Hands, sorry, palms, I was going to say. Do you honestly think it means something? No, I can't figure out how I've managed to crease my hands in that way repeatedly in order to create that many compasses on there.
Isn't there something like in acupuncture where your body fits in palms, ears, on face, and maybe the structures that are on the skin can be read as well?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So maybe if you look in acupuncture, you will find something, but it's more related to inner organs, isn't that?
That's possible.
Yeah.
And then do these stars correlate? Well, that one looks like Orion. Orion's main belt. That's very interesting. And then these ones are, oh, that one's kind of like this. Looks like a constellation. Which is interesting patterning, isn't it? Which you could read, I suppose. Or there's an untapped market available for people. Why stop at palms? That's the thing. And Bring a whole new meaning to the word age, wouldn't it? Oh, sorry, you're too young. Oh, but that's not fair. You got to age a little bit more, and then I'll be able to read the for you. Huh, I'll be looking forward to that. Who knew age could be such a beautiful thing? Mwah. Wisdom, I mean, nice. But yeah, so do you think it means anything?
I'm not sure.
Or do you think it's just a bunch of coincidences that lead on to something else,
That's how we make faces.
Yeah, but we are imprints of the universe when you think about it. Inner mind, you could look at as black hole inside, everything retained inwards. Then we have our outer presence, which is what? Star, the outer.
Yeah.
Which this outer also holds the inner holds the outer. I mean, we're like a whole bunch of twin towers in our own right, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's the way it was structured, wasn't it? The inside held the outside, and the outside held up the inside, I believe. Which is kind of very beautiful structure, really, because it mirrors to what we are. The inners hold the outers hold the inners. Interesting. And then we're in a planet which is protected by an outer existence, which you could say space. One's holding one in, one's holding the other. It's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of like this in, out, shake it all about. Woo. Black hole in, star kind of out. Is there more meaning to this than meets the eye? Because essentially when you are creating and looking up and doing things, you are reading reality. No different to someone reading a palm. So just one more thing I want to touch upon. Yeah. Yes. It's probably not how you spell it, but just keep it shorthand. Past.
Yeah.
This one is the now. And this one is the future. The timeline of now. The past hides the now moment within what has happened, and the future holds the now moment in. So I don't know if it's post-cognitive and pre-cognitive. And then there's current cognitive, which is living now. In the now moment. Everything's in the now, But the now has come from a past. And the future relies on the now. And therefore you can read into the future, come back to the now moment, and bounce into the past. Well, I've played around with this a lot, a bit like the inner mind, the inner star, the inner eye. The transition between daydreaming and reality viewing, and getting on the cusp of these and then pushing one through the other. And essentially what is happening is reality is dimming down and your inners are pushing out into reality film, which is an interesting thing. And there's a third on that. That's one or the other, yes?
Yeah.
You pick one or the other. Well, I asked, can I not allow this one to bleed into reality? Your inner to bleed into reality, which then makes a third. Trinary. We are duality in nature, but we also can force a triality. Sounds really weird, doesn't it? As opposed to two realms into one, and you can bridge these together. You do this anyway, but you are unaware of it. You are the now, and then you have the inner and the outer, and you can bring the outer or the inner into the outer, and then you look at the outer and then you can bring that into the inner. That's how you build upon it. But you are the conduit in between the two, right? You are the bridge between the two. Which is freaking interesting as far as I'm concerned. So you understand that you are the third, or the bridge in the middle, the balance beam. And where you're looking at this zoning in, zoning out, zoning in, zoning out. and playing around with that for a lot. It's basically like some people get this by hallucinating, I think. I don't need that to trigger that. And in fact, I hear from a lot of accounts when people take this in controlled environments, okay, in controlled environments, I don't think that it's anything that, hey, do you, basically, do you? And I don't think anything's going to stop you if you're determined to do that. But when it's hallucination like that, it's not in your control all that much. You are taking something that then causes a hallucination in reality. What you are doing is you are bleaching the inner and you are putting it into physical reality. You know, when some people hallucinate, when they take things and they see something in reality that no one else can see. That is pushing your imagination out into your reality. That's what I can do without taking anything to do it. We already have this built in. So if you want to think of it that way, like some people will be like, oh, that's crazy, that's mental. No, you can't do that. Yes, you can. It's now induced nowadays by taking something. And people get it that way. But you can do this yourself if you sit down long enough. And you can build a lot of things with it. And it's quite a fascinating thing. And it almost seems like humans have forgotten how to do it. So with being awake with that from a young age and noticing that depending on how you look at something, it's rotating one way. And you look at it with an intent, it rotates the opposite way, or it appears to. The same with the shadow I was showing you. That when I tell you the direction it moves in and which way round it is, you'll see it that way. And when I tell you a long period of time goes by, and I tell you that it's moving the opposite way, but remember the last conversation that we had, you'll also agree with it and see it. But the thing is, that's done on someone has told you something, so you're perceiving the shadow as moving this way. But then when you're told another way, you're seeing it now move this way, facing you. Then you see it as a back of a head facing away from you. You see, that's the and you are the conduit in the middle, I guess, or the balance of those scales is you. So again, with this now moment is now. You also have a past. That's through lineage, history, and everything else, and you also have a future. So you can travel from one and go, you know, most people are either one or the other. Have you noticed that? Precognitive, post-cognitive.
Or cognitive.
Or cognitive, yeah. You're either one or the other. But with learning this with on the cusp of that, it's interesting, a near-death experience. For me personally, it was all shut down from then, you know, and that's a hell of a, that changes your whole understanding of life and whether there's something beyond. And like I say, because it affects you, if you tell this to someone else that hasn't been affected by it, it's like trying to convince or tell someone what you feel when you go through grief, or what excitement is to someone that's never experienced excitement. But a lot of people have experienced excitement, but only a few people at a certain age have experienced a loved one that has tragically died. And other people sort of appreciate it, but just don't understand it until it affects them one day, and then they understand. Then they know, right? They have that sort of appreciation to what someone else was going through at that time. That's a little bit like this experience here. Not because it was grief, no. It's the fact that when you try and speak about things like this, until people can do it themselves, then they know. But from a distance, they'll have to label it crazy, mad, this. I think it's because it's what you're saying is, I can't do this myself. And therefore, if I can't do it, then you must be crazy. Do you,
Yeah.
which again, you've just caged yourself. You've just limited yourself in a constraint. You've put yourself in a box. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? That you are self-caging by labeling it. And some people say that they need to label it to understand it so that you're the abnormal one, and then it makes sense to you, and then you can get on with your... No. And then there's possession, yes? What is that? That you are possessed, or... It's always done in such a negative light, isn't it? What about good possession? Well, what does that look like? I've never heard of it. Christmas. Something drives you to do all of this stuff. Why? It's because of the corporate. No, it's got nothing to do with it. Something is driving you to do that. Well, why is humans moving towards this way? What is possessing you to do that? Is that bad or is it good? Is it what you want to do? Oh, it feels like it. But is it? When you explore all of that. It's a very interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, future-based reading, I suppose, and past-based. So I can flip it at the drop of a hat, which I'm going to do in another video, actually. I make no plans. Ouch. So I make no plans to come up with anything, but just in the moment. The only plan I'll make is which way I'm going to go. Whether I go into the past or whether I go into the future. But each time I have to reach the now moment, which becomes... you become aware of your awareness field in the now moment, and then you can then transfer to the future, and then come back from that to the now moment, and then dive into the past, which usually unearths a prediction from the past, and it unearths a prediction from the future. And then you start off small with this. That's the thing. And it comes right in the future, which then tells me that it's right in the past. Or whether it's right or wrong doesn't really matter. For your perspective, your understanding. It's sort of like a rainbow, but it's not. It's an M, which is interesting, isn't it? So you've got past, current, which is this awareness, and then you've got future, and then back again, current, past. And exercising on that muscle quite a bit. Douche, 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 douche. So now it's, I could probably do this in a video, which I'm going to try and do anyway, and I'll look at current circumstances, and I'll either dive past or... I'll get you to pick which way. But there again, how do you not know I haven't thought of something beforehand? I don't think. That's the thing. I haven't written anything down. I don't rehearse. You know this. I don't rehearse anything. I just go straight up to it and off I go. I have one word. That's it. And then it unpacks. So, yeah, it's about being empty, not full. Which is quite interesting, really. So, yeah, I'll do something like that, I think, just to see how quickly I can flip it. And this is more of an experiment for myself, really, to be honest, just to see how long it takes. Because it will give me a rough idea of the speed of mind compared to when I last counted how long it takes, just by noting. I don't pay attention. I snap a picture of a clock. I'm not looking at the clock, the camera is. And I just press a button when I become aware of which, and then press another, and then press another, and then when I come back to the now, press it again, and then I know the process by looking back on what I've done, and then compare that to because the speed of thought is an interesting of how quick that is, and a buffer zone to how far and how far back you can go. And then you leave markers. And once these reveal themselves to you, it's very strange. You don't forget. Because along the way, it's shown imagery. And these images all link to a thread. So there's a thread to one of the how far you've gone into one, and how far back you've gone into another. And each one on this thread, there are markers, which you could say bubbles, glass vials that once smashed, you can dive in again and again and again, and then you get more of a picture, and it holds on to these markers. So yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that's my little. I like doing that. That's something that I've done for a while. So I explore with it a lot. But yeah, I guess the difference is I was doing this when I was younger. I was fascinated with it. Why you could do this with the... Essentially, you're hallucinating in reality, but you are in control of it. And you chuck in a few thoughts into it, and it manifests into the reality, and then that becomes even more... enhanced than what you were seeing to start with. So if it starts off like this, you see this, and then you start to imagine something, this appears within it. It's very interesting. And then this one fades out, and then this one takes center stage, and then reality is letched into that. And then that can cause you to draw into it. If you had a blank piece of cement in front of you, let's say, and then you envision that and it comes up, you can then start tracing it, tracing this quantum into reality, and then once that zones out and you look at that, it then helps you get back to the quantum. It becomes a portal. It's an interesting thing that you are no more or no less. If you had a piece of paper or piece of wood or the walls of a pyramid, it doesn't really matter. And that you begin to etch what you see, and you bring it up into the quantum field. So a hallucination, but one that stays for as long as you need it to. You begin tracing it out into the stone, and then that hallucination blinks away, evaporates. As soon as you look at it, the hallucination comes in, and then when you go within, you follow that back into your quantum mind, and it unpacks to where that leads off. Then that becomes a doorway into your brain. That becomes a portal, a brain portal, that when you look at it, it puts you back into... And therefore, reality, being sociology, affects your psychology. It's an invisible bridge, and that's what the ancients meant by portal. Just in case they ever were to come back here, if they were to see it, it would... They would remember past life of who they were. See, I think a lot of them were erring on whether there was an afterlife or whether there wasn't. And one way to prove it would be to etch something that you would know, and that if you ever reincarnate, you would see it, and this should put the portal. Which then would help them understand as how a God incarnate could see something, and you get there's so many branches come off of this as to... That's the portal. Not a place where you're going to stand in a doorway and disappear and turn up somewhere else in another part of a parallel universe. Although, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure the videos are doing that. When you record a video and stick it up on the internet, that is a portal. Very different. But you are delivering a message, aren't you? That's a little bit different to that. No. This one is a portal into the mind, not. Which you could say is an alternate reality, right? And it helps you get into. You are etching barcodes into the mind, out into reality, so that every time you look at that barcode, you're cast back into that area at a faster ratio than what you would now. Just to sit there and try and physically think about it, you see symbology and you pick up where you left off. That's a portal. And it's easier to do it this way because reality is never the same for everybody. So if I'm in this physical location right here, right now, and I look out over there, I might see the same amount of sky as everybody else to my neighbors and whatnot. They are not in the exact same location as what I am, experiencing the same nuances that you are. And therefore, that piece of reality can be coding you very quickly to create something in the mind that. Do you get that? The way the air moves, the way you see the tree from your perspective. Someone else is seeing it in a different perspective. They would have to stand and be in your exact same location as you, which is nigh on impossible. And then be able to see everything. And it's not just a tree or a cloud or where the sun is or the temperature. It's the grains around, it's the sand, it's the particles in the atmosphere, although you don't see them, but I'm pretty sure you're more aware of it. The sounds, the frequency, you're in that right position, right time, right moment, right place. And then this begins to affect your reality, code you. And then who has control of that? Anything that is above anything that we are in now, with our understanding, you could say God, spirituality, universe. You can work your mind. Even down to the layers of buildings around, because they're constantly degrading, constantly changing. Change. Even if you reach a stable environment, do you ever really reach a stable environment? Every single moment of that now moment is moving in towards the future, and therefore it's leaving behind traces, remnants of change, decay, degrade. Then everything is aging, and it's so slowly, it just lulls you into that. Even humans, even when you look in a mirror, your body aging in a certain way with certain defects that was subject to certain XYZ, and you are looking at that, that is also triggering something in your mind. Well, this is another way that it can be done. But then what is etching upon you? Time, life, this, stress, that. The ebb and flow of the world you're in. And therefore, you can never get away from it. Ever, not truly. Because you are constantly in it. Therefore, subject to a force more powerful than you will understand, and therefore can begin to sort the mind within certain ways. Strange, isn't it, when you think about it? But you can see where the ancients come from with that. Etching. So is this where palm reading comes from? I've never heard of facial reading. You've said something about acupuncture. I've never heard of it. So no, I only know about what acupuncture is, to put needles into you, isn't it? Yeah. Other than that, no, I don't know of anything like that. I hear of tarot reading cards. Mm-hmm. This is the same way that we're all reading reality, but don't realize it.
Or runes, they are North Scandinavian sort of reading, like tarot, similar, isn't it?
Yeah, which is no different from you saying that you're reading reality.
And who knows what other reading we don't know now. There's different ones technically.
Well, you are reading reality. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So, reading cards, one thing. Imagine that you're doing that every single day. And then what is in control of that coding? And then what happens if it ever decides to rock and roll? Can it upgrade the minds of people? And it seems very funny, doesn't it? It seems like it's incredibly crazy, but there's been a lot of times when people just walk away from empires
Yeah.
without causing one single piece of destruction in its wake. That came later. They just walk away from it. Like they were all updated at the same time,
Yeah.
but that was no longer a thing to do.
Yeah. They had enough.
It's pretty powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then it fell apart, didn't it?
Crazy. But there you are. There, I'm going to leave that one there. I want to keep it short anyway, but yeah, just wonder about that. So, does it mean something? Does it all mean something? And then to say that existence is meaningless is wrong. It means it's full of meaning, full of codes. Are they light codes? Are they day codes? Are they sound codes? Are they noise codes? Are they this codes? Or is it the code of reality?
Maybe we just don't read it properly. Sometimes. All the time.
Or another thing is that I'd understand is, do you need everybody to read it?
Probably not.
If everyone's got their place, do you need everyone to read it?
No.
Then that would make you a seer. Which is close to Cece. Interesting. Anyway, gonna leave it there. A seer. Yeah.